Alrighty. Cody and I, we've been working on his walk. And what I'm going to be working on right now as we're walking along is having him look at me. When he looks at me, I give him a click followed by a treat. And in that way, he knows he's done the right thing. The click just barks something that he's done that I like. So when you're concentrating more on that kind of a situation where he's looking at you and he gets clicked and treated for that, he's going to start to do it more and more often. When you're doing it that way, you don't have to worry so much about if he's a little bit in front of you, a little behind you. You worry less about where he is because he's very interested in where you are. He's going to stay close to you and be interested in being close to your leg. So it just makes for a nice heel as you're walking, and he gets this good sensation about being close to you. It's always a rewarding place to be. So anyway, all right, my friend. So the words we use when I take off are with me. Ready? With me. Good boy. So when he turns his head a little bit, it's easier for me to see from up above. But there's a little swivel in his head as he turns my direction, and I'm feeding him for that. Yes. I'm doing it one for one. Every time he's looking at me, then I'm turning around and when he's looking at me, then he gets a click and a treat. Over time, as he gets better and better, I'm going to maybe have him do 2 head swivels, 2 glances my way before he gets a treat. Over time, it's 3. And then pretty soon, it just gets to be the way that he travels with you. Okay. Okay. So we just walk and there's a swivel, click and a treat. Yes. Click and a treat. Very nice. What a good boy. So I don't need for him to keep staring at me the whole way. I want him to enjoy the walk, but I do want him to just check in with me visually. And that makes for a nice walk, a nice partnership as you walk. Yes, you get the whole sidewalk. Good job. Just makes for a nice rhythmic, nice walk. And I'm not very particular about which side he's on. I find generally they like to be on the side with the grass. But I'm starting to stretch out the number of times that he looks at me before I feed him. So that's his second glance to me. So here we go again. 1. Oh, he's looking very expectantly. All right, I'll feed you. Yes, here we go. Yes, good boy. I'm going to go back to feeding him 1-to-1. He's doing great. So you can see he's looking. Good boy. So again, keep in mind, you're not always going to have to feed him every single one. All you're trying to do, though, is stretch it out to where maybe he's looked at you twice, and then he's looked at you 3 times, and then he gets fed. Pretty soon you won't need to be feeding much at all. But in the beginning, when something like this is new, you want to feed him a lot. So he really gets they genuinely get a physiological sensation about being by your leg. That's kind of the idea behind Pavlov's dog, right? You're connecting 2 things that are unrelated. In this case, the being by your leg and getting fed. Over time, just like where the bell led to food, in this case it's going to be like, oh, just being by the leg leads to food. And then over time, he's still going to get that happy feeling about being by your leg even when he's not being fed. If you'll remember from Pavlov's dog, when they stopped feeding for the sound of the bell, the dog would still begin to slobber. So they get this happy sensation of anticipation and joy. Yes. Good boy. Even when you're not feeding anymore. Good boy. So now I'm just kind of going farther and farther in between feedings. You're doing so good. You're the most amazing boy. You're so handsome. Good boy. And this is kind of a hard time of day. There's a lot of activity. There's squirrels. This is kind of prime bunny hour. Good boy. Yes. But he's doing great. You're amazing. Yes, you are. the best boy. All right, super good. Thanks.